It had been a busy morning. Katie discovered that birds like to sing when the sun comes up. Orbie found out that the sky lights up very slowly. And they both learned that almost no one walks along the sidewalk in the early morning. Katie and Orbie had been awake for a long time, and they were getting tired of waiting for Mom and Dad. So far, they were sound asleep. They were sound asleep because it was very early in the morning, way too early for a family to be up. Suddenly, Katie had a great idea. She and Orbie would make breakfast. They raced down to the kitchen. Katie squealed with delight. Orbie was about to toot, but Katie shushed him. They had to be very quiet. She told Orbie they couldn't use the stove or a sharp knife. Orbie burbled his agreement. They would have to be safe. Katie opened the cupboards, looking for things they could make. Orbie thought of pancakes, and he pulled out the maple syrup. Pancakes did sound good, but Katie remembered that Dad used the frying pan to make them. Next, Katie took an egg out from the fridge. Eggs were a delicious idea. Orbie pointed out that eggs weren't that delicious, cold and slimy. Katie agreed. Katie thought for a moment. So did Orbie. Then Katie smacked the table with her hand. Toast was all she said. Orbie grinned and then gave her a quizzical look. Were they allowed to use the toaster, he wondered? A frown crossed Katie's face because, of course, they weren't. But then she smiled again. She leaned over to Orbie. They would call it cold toast and put all kinds of yummy things on it. Dad would love it. Orbie would be in charge of the cold toast. Katie would make coffee. They couldn't use the coffee pot because it was dangerous. But Katie could mix it in hot water. So she took Dad's mug and scooped in some coffee. She poured hot water into it, and it did look good. A little black, maybe, but good. Mom liked milk in hers, so Katie poured a lot in. And then 2 big spoons full of sugar. There wasn't much room left for the coffee, but Katie put some in with a little tiny bit of hot water. Then came Mom's breakfast. Orbie thought of cereal. Cereal was a great idea. Katie clapped her hands. That was the most perfect thing. She took a big bowl from the cupboard. She took out some cereal boxes, too. When Katie looked into the box of Mom's favorite cereal, there were only 4 little pieces left. Orbie stopped putting peanut butter on the bread. He had another idea. He told Katie that they could use the last of Mom's cereal and then add the ones that they liked best. Mom would get a mixture of really yummy things. Katie set right to work filling the bowl. Orbie by this time was looking at Dad's cold toast and decided that it looked plain and ordinary like a sandwich. He decided he would top the peanut butter off with green relish. That way it would look better. Katie poured milk into the bowl, and then she pulled out the trays. She set everything on the trays. Finally, the delicious breakfast was ready. Katie and Orbie tiptoed up the stairs. Katie carried Mom's tray, and she noticed that the cereal bits were all fat and soggy. Mom would love it anyway, Katie knew. Orbie looked at Dad's tray. Some of the juice from the relish was trickling across the plate. Dad would love his anyway, for sure. When they got to the door, Mom and Dad were still sound asleep. Katie wanted to wake them up, but Orbie burbled that they should leave it outside the bedroom door. When they opened it, there would be the surprise. Katie thought Orbie was a genius. They put the trays on the hall carpet. They giggled all the way down the stairs and went into the living room to wait. It was still very early. Mom and Dad kept sleeping, and it wasn't too long before Katie and Orbie were asleep too. There was only one person at their house that wasn't. Well, all right, not exactly a person. Chance pattered down the hall and, as you can imagine, was very surprised to find such a delicious breakfast sitting on the hall carpet. She just naturally thought it was for her. Nobody else ate on the ground. She looked around to see if there could be a mistake, but no one was in sight. It was definitely for her, she decided, and sniffed in the milky aroma. She drank up every bit of the milk in the cereal bowl. She even ate some of the cereal. She didn't like Dad's coffee at all, but she drank a bit of Mom's. Then she tried Dad's sandwich, not the relish part, but the peanut butter part. She took a big bite and chewed and chewed and chewed. The peanut butter got stuck to the roof of her mouth. She shook her head and almost fell. She knocked over Mom's coffee mug. It made a loud clunk, and then it spilled into the cereal bowl. The noise woke Mom and Dad up. When they opened up their door, they found Chance still wrestling with the peanut butter. I have to tell you that peanut butter was not made for cats. Mom and Dad saw the breakfast. They realized that Katie and Orbie had gone to a lot of trouble to surprise them. The breakfast had been ruined by Chance, but Mom and Dad felt so special because Katie and Orbie had done something really nice for them. When they found Katie and Orbie sleeping, they had a great idea too. They cooked up made-to-order pancakes and set the table with balloons just for fun. I have to tell you that the two friends were very surprised. They were sorry Mom and Dad had missed the breakfast, but they were glad that Chance loved it. And you know, if you can think of something nice to do for somebody else, you should do it. Everybody, even moms and dads, like to feel special sometimes.
Did you know? No. Did you know? Did you know? Pasta comes in many shapes and sizes. There's fettuccine, linguine, rigatoni, and rotini, as well as macaroni, spaghetti, and fusilli. You can even eat letters, bows, shells, stars, and even wagon wheels.